How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Not just another review, a little versus stuff. I love doing the versus stuff. Here we have a little bit of Alementary A-Game IPA versus its dry hopped brethren. Good stuff. First things first. These beers come courtesy of Desmond. Thank you very much, dude. He sent me a box off of beers, and he these are two of them, and that's super cool. One, because he sent me beers, and two, like I said, I really like it. Trying the base versus dry hop version. It's one of the my more favorite things to do when it comes to beer. So yeah, let's stop yammering and yammer some more. As far as what it says on these cans, it says over here, actually, it says the same thing on both cans, I remember now. It says, except for double dry hop, obviously. It says the Alementary Brewing Company, A-Game India Pale Ale, 6.5% alcohol by volume. On the side here, it says there's a level of perfection that can only come from dedication and diligence, a devotion to toil and grind. Brewed often with precision and care to keep it fresh, A-Game is their commitment to work as hard as you. Our flagship East Coast IPA, with its stone fruit and citrus notes and malty backbone, is inspired by our community in the suburbs of the Big Apple and their dedication to getting it right. Drink for science. Not be that. Hackensack, New Jersey they're out of. Like I said, exactly the same label, except for double dry hopped. And if you're going to be a real anal retentive kind of nitpicky person, this can has probably a couple little drops of red, more red in the label down here. You probably can't tell on camera, but it's just a little redder. This is more ox blood. This is more, I'm making shit up, actually don't know what color red it is. I'm just trying to be funny. Anyway, yeah. So, let's open this up, see what we got. Little fatty 12-ounce cans, I always dig that. Old school style. Old school East Coast IPA, little old school canning. So we'll give that a pour. I usually do the double pour. I don't know why I didn't do that right now. So you guys get a little treat of me just not doing the same thing, which while I'm pouring this, I'm starting to freak out my own brain that I'm neurotically crazy, not doing the exact same thing every time, so the world is going to crash around me. But, you know, such is life. Anyway, such is my life. What do we have here? You know, give or take about the same amount of fluid in there. Give this one, match it up just so my brain is happy. And darker. We got a bit more darkness over here. They're about the same kind of haziness. It's not super hazy. It's not New England style IPA. But this one, oddly enough, does come off a little bit darker. A little bit more kind of rich orange, deeper, darker orange. Just a little bit more brighter orange. You know, for some reason, you always think the dry hop version might come out a little bit darker. I don't know why. Maybe it had a little bit more bark to it. But, you know, a little bit bigger head on this one. But I also double poured on that one. So, again, they say drink for science, but I'm definitely not doing science here. So, anyway, let's get noses on her. So, base version first. It's definitely kind of your old school kind of East Coast IPA. I'm getting a bit of the citrus and getting a little bit of this kind of stone fruitiness, but in a candied fashion. That big kind of malty kind of backbone they talk about lends to that. Definitely sweeter, more candy. I just got a whiff of a little bit more kind of brown sugary kind of thing going on in there. But yeah, it's not overly hopped to the nth degree to where all you're smelling is big, huge hops that come off infinitely candied because of this huge malt base. It's more of kind of subtle, kind of gentle kind of fruit notes around that kind of nice maltiness. So yeah, definitely old school through and through in a very positive way. See what the dry hopped version has to offer. Much the same, except there's this wafting kind of greeniness kind of in there. Nothing too biting, nothing too bitter, but you definitely get this fresh kind of greeniness coming through it. I mean, that's your dry hopping through and through. And that's it. They're very, very similar noses, except for that subtle little bit of greeniness. I think that's pretty cool because, you know, a lot of times when you have these kind of extra hopped, instead of double dry hopped, whatever you want to call it, version of beers, you end up with something that's completely different. Here you definitely have a very similar kind of nose going on, so kind of excited. Let's try the base. Cheers. Okay, that's tasty. Super easily drinkable, but at the same time it has a decent impact to it. It's definitely a heaping helping. Let's go a heaping dollop. Let's not go helping. I like dollops right now. That's my word of the day. That and chutzpah. I love that one too. Anyway, it's got a heaping helping of kind of, I just said helping, dollop, god damn it, of new schoolness to it. But it's definitely old school in its roots. That malt backbone isn't as big as you'd think it is, and it doesn't lend to a very heavy beer. Well, it is dense. It's not overly dense. You got a nice mouthfeel to it. There is a subtle kind of washed out kind of caramel thing going on there, but the hops are definitely a leader in the clubhouse. Getting your citrus that's not overly kind of acidic. You're getting that nice kind of stone fruitiness, and it's all coming off candied in a very positive way. So it's kind of like I said, a little bit, a decent amount of old school with a bit of new school going on. Let's see what the dry hop version has to offer. It mimics almost exactly, except with that little bit of greenness in there. A lot of people will tell you that dry hopping really doesn't do much to the beer outside of the nose. It's a bunch of malarkey. Almost all your taste comes from your nose. So even when you're drinking something, you're still using your olfactory senses. There's a nickel word for you. And it has this kind of soft, kind of powdery greeniness to it. Not necessarily like weedy greeniness, pulling weeds. It's a little bit of like kind of cheap smoking weediness. Not necessarily like stockiness, not necessarily like grassiness. A little bit of cheap weediness to it in a good way. I'm not saying it's like cheaply made or cheaply tasting beer. But it's nice. It's a nice kind of subtle nuance. A subtle change from the base. I kind of dig it. Because like I said, based off of the nose, you have a lot of these breweries that tend to just go so apeshit with the hops and just throw a beer in this totally different stratosphere. You're just like, these aren't even similar beers. There is a difference to these. Big enough to let you know you're drinking something different, but at the same time, small enough to let you know you're still in the same family. Good beers, tasty beers, enjoyable beers. Definitely, like I said, an homage, a kind of capturing of old school beers, but with enough new school to keep you excited and not just be like old hat kind of shit. So let's talk about it. Are these two of the best IPAs and dry hopped IPAs that I've had as of late? No. I do like mine in student new school. It's, why I've gotten more kind of into IPAs over the past several years. It's IPAs have changed to my liking. I come from the old school. I like Belgian beers. I like saisons. I like, tart, weird, sour, stuff like that. And then just these sweet IPAs did kind of open the door for me. And the way the hops were used, too, to kind of really kind of jump in. I dig them. I'm one of those weird people that kind of went the other direction. But this works for me. It has enough of that new to go with the old that it really kind of turns me on. But at the same time, it's not one of the best ones I've had as of late. But it's fun as hell. Same thing on both ends of the spectrum. Value and availability, don't know. Maybe Des can kind of chime in on price. It might be in this little note he wrote me from the little box he sent me. But I don't read anything about beers. I don't want to know anything about them until after I'm done drinking them. So anyway. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like good beer, I want to go really simple with it. If you like good beer, if you like IPAs, and if you like well-made beer. There's a difference between good and well-made. Sounds very similar, but it's not. Because that's what I think this is. I think this is good, well-made, honest beer. And the world needs more of that. So if you're into those things and you like hop-forward beers, and you have an open mind, if you're just not a haze bro or hop thought, and you know that there's malt involved in things, and that can be okay. You'll definitely dig them, because while very similar, the subtleness between the two is a fun fucking kind of back and forth. So I absolutely implore you to kind of try them both at the same time, because it's fun. And I like doing it. So there you go. Words. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff and things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. Massive Beers, all four of those places. And another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying two hazy North Jersey Jones right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.